Hello, hello, and welcome to Week 7 of our Squad v Squad in the MGE League, well, MGL League. This is one of your hosts, Dark Reaper 1337. Joining me today is the fabulous MG Savvy Beard.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be here again.
It's always a pleasure to cast with you.
Yep.
For this week, this is going to be Interstellar versus Incantus. This week's special requirement is going to be no anchors. So, Savvy, while we get all the players in the lobby, would you like to briefly go over what our ranking structure is?
Sure. So, I'll start off with, we have the anchors, the anchor rank, which isn't going to be playing this week, and those are our higher caliber players that have proven to be a bit more consistent and are usually the superior players. And then below that, we have our fire players, which are kind of the mid-tier players that have the potential to play very well, but typically are a little bit less consistent than the anchors. And then we have our ghosts, which are our lower-tier players that are still pretty talented and can be pretty talented, but tend to play at a little bit lower level. But that's about how it works. So
I definitely want to do a breakdown of these teams. We have the anchors for Incantus being Dragon and Noisy Boy, so we're going to definitely be on them today. See them pull through, as well as their ghosts, the Muku and It's a Maniac. And on the other side for Interstellar, we have the fires going to be Trucker Guy and Little Brit, with their ghosts being Alpha Caliber and Parental Advisory. So definitely a great group. Definitely want to get some hype for them in the chat. And we can get started going on into our first game of the series, which is going to be a Truth Slayer. What are your opening predictions on this?
Yeah, I think this series is going to be a close series. Looking at both of these teams on paper, I think the ghosts, for the most part, are pretty even. The fires are pretty even. It kind of just depends on who decides to show up today, and who plays their best, which team plays their best all together. But I think this could easily go to a game 5. If it is a 3-0 or a 3-1 or something like that, it'll probably be, the games will still probably be really close. But I imagine in one way or another, this series is going to be very close.
I agree. This is a good map for both teams. They both have very strong openings, as we saw throughout this season. So definitely want to see these opening be consistent. Opening up, I will be on Alpha Caliber, the ghost for Interstellar, just to see as he charges the other side and takes out a player in the top mid. Definitely top mid control will be very key in this match. Both teams understand the priority of it, so definitely fighting for this control right off the bat will be very huge for both teams.
Yeah, and I really like what I'm seeing out of Alpha Caliber right now, just pressuring this Incantus team from this top middle position and just making sure that they're staying trapped into that pink area. You do see Alpha Caliber finally get taken down, so this is a good opportunity for Incantus to start picking up a few kills here. They do have the 5-3 lead at the moment, but I like for the most part what I'm seeing out of both teams. Good double kill from Trucker Guy there off stream, kill feed. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing right now from both teams. I think both teams are making pretty smart, intelligent plays right now, so we'll just see who comes out on top.
And I do want to point out that both teams, they're creating that space. We see a lot of Interstellar kind of controlling top mid, controlling over on P. We are going to see the card push from them, try to take out players, but not either team being really openly aggressive on this start. They're a very setup-oriented team for both of them, so definitely like seeing how cautious they're playing early on.
Yeah, and, you know, honestly, so far I'm really impressed. I'm more impressed right now with the way Interstellar is playing this right now. They've had very good top middle control this game. They've had good. Now they're starting to rotate around, having good pink control. They are gonna have a couple people drop there, but it's not a big deal. I think they're doing a really good job with map control so far, and it's showing on the scoreboard with this 4-kill lead.
It most definitely is. I have hopped over to Dragon. He is a very strong Slayer. Definitely can get his team right back into this. And even though just a couple of slays, we are going to see a camo pickup. Possibly. I don't know if that was burned just yet.
I think Trucker Guy picked it up and was able to get away with it, unless he's died since then. It looks like he might have gone down just a little bit ago, and now Interstellar is going to see a big opportunity here to clean up a few kills, push into the base, and start moving around as a team here. So they've got to get out of this base that they're in, though. They've got to get out of this red base and start pushing for map control right now. Otherwise, their slays aren't going to mean much.
I definitely agree. They need to fight out of this base. They kind of just gave that map control, that kind of top mid, top card, P, to the Interstellar squad, and that's not going to really be in their favor because they're still going to have to fight out of this base. Switch over to It's a Maniac here. See if she can clean up this kill.
Ooh, that was a good little melee from It's a Maniac there. But yeah, I mean, they still have the lead right now, but Interstellar kind of played a little slow there, a little slower than I would have liked to see. They got 3 or 4 dead. I want to say it was at least 3 dead, and then they kind of just sat in the blue base for 10-15 seconds, and then let Incantus get control of the top middle area and even P side, I think, as well. So let them get a little bit of map control, and I'm not really entirely sure how they did that. It is working out for them, but I feel like they could have an 8 or 9 kill, maybe even a 10 kill lead by now if they would have played that just a little bit more aggressively, a little bit more fast.
I definitely agree. I don't want to fault them for taking it slow. They are playing to their strength. So if that means, you know, they have to stay back, you know, kind of go to another teammate, challenge where they're needing to, but they're slowly creating this lead in the game. I would like to see them maintain this. Interstellar definitely is very aggressive with the push. They are fighting for it. Trucker Guy just picked up a nice double kill. I want to go over to him. They definitely can bring this back. He is going to be taking red base and the BR. I see a lot of teams this Squad v Squad season pick up that BR, the Halo 2 BR. They're comfortable using it, and they've put up a lot of damage and kills with it. So I definitely like seeing that usage on this map.
Yeah. I was actually just gonna say too, especially on this map. This is a map where it's a good sized map for this play to the strengths of the range of that Halo 2 BR. He is going to get taken out there. He is going to get met by 2 or 3 guys from the Interstellar squad. But I think, but yeah, like highlighting the use of that H2 BR, I think is definitely a big deal. It's definitely something that everybody should be doing. I definitely don't like when I see players walking over it instead of picking it up. It can be situational. I think you're probably going to be better off, you know, in a closer range battle with a pistol. But, you know, those mid-range battles and putting shots across the map, which is so important on this map, that Halo 2 BR is going to absolutely shine.
100%, especially on a map like Truth, where there's not really too much to get things going for the other team. There's really just camo. That's the only power weapon. So any weapon as an advantage would be huge on this map, because this is such a setup-heavy map. This is a very team-oriented map, a lot of jumps, and not really any like sniper or overshield, nothing like that to get things going. You only really have that camo. And that's an unfortunate death out of Little Brit there.
Yeah.
That would have been huge if he could have got control right there.
Yeah, I wanted to say, after you finished up there, Little Brit didn't end up surviving, but I wanted to say, I don't like Little Brit pushing this. He's got to be knowing that the rest of the team is going to be coming up to that pink side, because a lot of the times, I mean, you think about it, when you play this and you see when your teammate's alone up in P2, you at least start pushing up your P street a little bit, just to be there, just in case they get naded out, or if they start getting shot at from the other P street. You know, you want to be there to back them up or go clean up the one shot that they create, whatever that is. So you got to know as a player that there's probably going to be other team members around that area, and it's not really good to chase a kill into P2. You want to try to throw nades, get them to jump out onto the street and hit them from top mid, or you want to try to throw nades and have them boost back into P2, like further into P2, so you can pick them off from the window area. But running in on that probably wasn't the best decision.
I agree. And again, I see Interstellar with the map control the top mid, but none of them really making a coordinated push into the base. They have, you see right there, you have 3 people from the red team all kind of grouped around ready to see, hey, if they push us, we're going to have numbers with her. They push by themselves, we can just outslay them. And that is really what is winning for this Incantus team, just how coordinated and staying around. They're grouped together, but not close enough where a nade could just take them out.
Yeah, I want to go on board with Noisy Boy on the stream. I like his positioning right now, and his team's doing they're doing now the later half of this game. We talked about how Incantus started off the game really well with map control, and now we're seeing Interstellar take that map control as well, holding the top middle positions. They're kind of leaving it right now, but they're getting car control, they're getting P control, they're getting top mid control. They're working as a team. The team shot's been phenomenal out of Interstellar so far. I really like Noisy Boy's positioning here. He knows he's got a guy pushing into that base, and he's just going to sit and lay shots down from top mid. Now, it doesn't work out for him there, but I think he needed to move there a little quicker, but I liked his decision making. It was just maybe a little slow.
He definitely could have got away if he just had maybe a quicker thrust. Definitely would like to see maybe a shield, maybe not necessarily a drop, but definitely not working out for him.
But this is an 8-point game right now. This is completely over yet. Interstellar right now, Incantus right now does have a pretty good control of this top middle area. They've picked up a couple kills, and then they've made it a 5-point game now. So if they just play patiently, I don't like Alpha Caliber moving from the middle there, but I do like his other teammate replacing him in the middle. Having that top center control is what's going to bring them back into this game. But they just need to play smart right now. They need to just not over challenge.
This is some great playing
teammates
out of Trucker Guy. Very sneaky with that, staying alive, doing what he needs to create these openings for his team to push in. And right now, these last couple plays, like it's only a 4-point game. It was 8 kills, and now Interstellar is getting staying alive, getting those kills, those one-offs. Right now, Incantus can't let these Interstellar team kind of go away, because right now they're just blowing this lead.
And in the last part of this game now, we've talked about it, like now you see Incantus just absolutely in the right spot of the map right now, and you're going to see a tie game at 47-47. So they came back from I think a 9 or 10 kill deficit to make this a tie game now. Now they just need to play this really smart. Trucker Guy is on a killing frenzy here. I want to continue staying on him just to make sure, because they are only 1 kill away from coming back and winning this game.
A comeback!
This is absolutely insane.
I want to stay on board for Trucker Guy.
Play really smart here. Yep, and they're gonna pull out the win. Huge plays from Trucker Game at the end of that, or Trucker Guy at the end of that game. Just absolutely insane. The map control at the end of the game coming out of Incantus was huge. They took control of top center. You know, I called it a couple minutes ago. I said they were down 8, but with this control, they could easily come back. And that's exactly what they did. So Trucker Guy absolutely showed up, going 20-10, getting a killing frenzy at the end of that game. He's absolutely responsible for winning that game for Incantus.
Trucker Guy heating it up for his team, paving their way for an early lead in this series. He's on a killing frenzy. He's feeling hot. You know, he might have started off a little shaky, got things going, and now it's definitely showing. Going through the stats, putting up the most damage for his team, showing that he's leading the fires, going there. Great game out of Trucker Guy. That was an amazing comeback. Dragon on the other side also trying to lead it. It was just they got too complacent with that. They started making mistakes. They started getting that pressure getting to them. Once Interstellar has that momentum and they're going to just keep on going. You need to be able to stop that.
Yep.
Very aggressive team.
Yeah, it's just really phenomenal plays at the end of that game coming out of Incantus. I mean, I can see it happening. They got 3 or 4 dead. Made it like a 7 or 8, or they got a couple dead, made it like a 7 or 8 kill game, got that top middle control, you know, and I said, hey, they got them spawning, they're spawning into their base, they know where they're spawning, and Trucker Guy made some really good pushes, and they ended up coming back, and I could see it forming, you know, a couple minutes before that game ended, and and I'm really happy that they capitalized on the positions that they had.
That was so great. I will be setting up the next match which is going to be our first objective game type of the night, which is going to be Oasis Strongholds. And why I set this up, Savvy, would you like to talk about our variation of Strongholds?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the big differences is that you will be scoring. You will be putting points on the board if you only have one stronghold. Excuse me. If you have 2 strongholds, you'll be getting more points every 2 or 3 seconds, and then 3. So that's all. 3, you'll be getting even more. So that's all pretty similar, but the big difference is that you will be getting points with just one stronghold. The other big difference is, with this change, it makes it a little more team-oriented by making it so if you're only single capping a base by yourself, it's going to go extremely slow. The cap is going to take 10 plus seconds, I think. If you have 2 people in it, it's going to significantly lower the amount of time it takes to cap that base. It's going to make it pretty normal. If you have 3 people in it or 4 people in it, it's pretty much instant. So it really requires your team to be moving around as a team, getting the slays on the way when you move from base to base. But whenever you want to take a base, as long as you're making a push as a team, you're going to be successful in this playlist. So it definitely encourages the teamwork a little bit more than standard Stronghold.
And it's going to be on our new map, Oasis, something introduced after Storm Week. It is a new map. It's a small map, has a beam rifle over shield, so a lot of back and forth, a lot of rotation going on. Definitely make some noise for the Incantus team in chat. I want to see more Incantus love for this. Get them back going in this game. Let's try to push a game 5 with this. Let's make some noise.
Yep, I think this game should go pretty well for Incantus. I think riding that momentum from that comeback in that last game is going to be big. But right off the bat, Dragon is going to pick up that OS. So now Interstellar is going to have the time on the OS, and he also has green gun. So they have no counter to this OS at all right now. And so Dragon can pretty much just free reign, do whatever he wants to do right now.
This OS is going to be a very big, needs to be controlled on this map. Since it is so small, you can almost see each side. You can get to each side of the map relatively quickly. Any advantage such as OS is going to be huge.
I didn't even know you could punch that window. That's actually pretty cool. That's good to know. So I like what he tried to do there. I think he needed to be calling out for his team to come assist him there, but I do like him kind of pushing in and trying to use the last bit of that OS. It didn't quite work out for Dragon there, but it's not a huge deal. You are gonna see Incantus start putting on some points, or start putting some points on the board. But I think Interstellar is still okay. I'm
on board with Little Brit. He has a couple of beam rifle shots left, but he's not able to get the angles he probably wants right now. I'd like to see him pull off a snipe, and unfortunately we don't see it, but that is okay. Definitely in this kind of stronghold setup, Cove is the most open in my opinion, so we want to see a lot of teams holding down these trenches and garden.
Yep, 100%. I saw something there too on Little Brit's point of view. He had a teammate go down and try to challenge that cove area, and they only had one person at that cove area, and Little Brit elected to stay up and shoot people across the map with some tougher angles. I would have liked to see him push with his teammate there and maybe push in. I don't think his teammate actually ended up dying, but I think they could have actually ended up capturing that cove earlier on, and they could have been putting more points on the board earlier on.
I would kind of like to see more rotation out of Interstellar. We had parental advisory go back to kind of stop that garden push, and now that they did give it up, they weren't able to get really that double strongholds that they could have had if the whole team just went back to garden and kind of stopped Dragon. He was the only one capturing it at that time. But I am going to go on board with Noisy Boy, who is picking up this OS, and Incantus doing a great job of maintaining OS control, and it's definitely transferring into points, and they're on the first trip cap of the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see Noisy Boy stop and get his shields real quick. I don't think he's going to help his team at all by pushing over here one shot. I mean, it ends up working out, but he needs to stop and get his shield back real quick.
He should be punished right now by the squad. He is lucky.
Yes, yeah, he should
out.
be getting punished, but it looks like he's gonna stay alive. That's a good little flank coming out of him as well, and he's gonna see maybe if he can pick up this base again.
Definitely two people pushing him. I would like to see. I would hope he is calling out, letting his team know they are going to have that rotation to Garden now. Go on board with Trucker Guy, see what he is going to do to get his team back into this. He had an amazing game. I know this is probably not one of their stronger maps, so definitely want to see.
I mean, if they do things right, if they go for these slays, and then focus this objective, and they move around as a team, I don't see why they couldn't do it. I just hope it doesn't take I hope it doesn't take till the end of the game this time, because it is kind of risky, or I don't think it helps much if you come together in this version of Strongholds at the end of the game, because by then, like, it's kind of just. And Noise is going to nade himself off stream, but it kind of just puts yourself into a rough position where you're just not really setting yourself up for success.
We do have Trucker Guy with the OS. This is going to be their first pickup of the game, so I'd love to see this transfer some points. And right now they're being very aggressive on that cove. Very nice movement out of Trucker Guy to avoid that melee, but unfortunately his over shields will be burned. So not too much use out of it.
No, not a whole lot. He actually stopped. I mean, he did stop like a relatively important push from Interstellar, but yeah, there could have been more done. But I don't think he did. I think he did what he could with the situation that he was put into. So I'm not disappointed with how he ended up using that OS.
A little miscommunication on the Interstellar squad. They had one person stop that and got the Incantus squad over there to help out just in enough time where they unfortunately were not able to take it. Some nice shots by Dragon, and here's the team push out of the other Incantus squad. I like how Dragon's rotating back to Trench, making sure, hey, I have two guys going Cove for, I'm sorry, Garden right now. I'm going to watch Trench, make sure no one flanks behind, and just kind of locking things down. And he's not making any pushes, any unnecessary pushes when his team goes down.
Oh, it's really smart play coming out of Dragon. I also really like that play. And now that he sees that they have a numbers advantage, he is going to start pushing into this hill. He will get taken out there, which is unfortunate by the green gun. But I think for the most part we can agree that the plays that he made were pretty smart plays.
Definitely we need Interstellar to start taking and holding down at least two strongholds. Just get some points back in. Because like you mentioned earlier, even one, they're still going to get points. You let these points get too out of control, then it will be very difficult to come back.
Right. Yep. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. You don't want to come together as a team at the end of the game when you're already down really low, because it's so hard to get those trip caps and a double cap. Even if you're successfully rotating around and maintaining a double cap towards the end of the game, it doesn't really do you a whole lot of good. You're still probably going to end up losing because of the fact that the other team does still gain a few points here and there, even when they only hold one cap. So you definitely want to you want to be maintaining control throughout the entire game, not just towards the end in these Strongholds games. So
that was a huge
trying to come
kill.
back at the end is a lot harder. But yeah, big kill from Alpha Caliber there to stop that push.
That helped them keep Garden, kind of delay the push from Incantus, and definitely with this two Strongholds, they have a chance to really stay in this.
Yep, they've just got to rotate back now to this this trench area up here and make sure that they don't get like this free. And see, these are huge plays out of Alpha Caliber.
Huge triple kill.
That's a huge play out of the Ghost player Alpha Caliber there to get that triple kill, and he's not able to kill that last person, but that was a really big play to make sure that they didn't get that cap.
Those are the kind of plays that we really need both teams to start making to really stay in this, to really fight. That is what we love to see in this kind of matchup. I'll go on with Little Brit. I haven't seen him too much, giving him too much love, but definitely a very strong player. I want to see what he does. to keep this alive. Right now, Interstellar just doing a great job of having a comeback. They are a great comeback team.
Yep. Yep, and they're doing a good job now, and they just got 2 or 3 dead now, so this is a good opportunity for them to start pushing this cove area. I want to see somebody else come help Little Brit, and that's what's going to happen.
He did.
But they also need to be wary because it looks like they went for a split cap, and they're also going for that trench area as well on the Incantus side. So
I like
Little Brit bailing out there for a second, but he is going to get back. He is going to get smacked a little bit, and that's a really good melee coming out of whoever that was on Incantus. But yeah, I don't think it was terribly bad plays, and they're coming back in this game. They're definitely mounting a comeback here, and you know, I think they did it at the right time in the game. I think any later than what they did, and it would have been really tough for them to actually come back.
They kept their composure in this game. They definitely feel very confident. They're getting very familiar with the map. They're working together. You see that, and you see kind of that control being lost out of Incantus. They have a very early lead. They have a really good start, but they can't maintain it long term in the game. It's these little plays at the end. They need to keep their composure. I don't know if Muku trying to get that back smack was the right play, especially with him being the only one from his team over there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that Little Brit gets taken out there. This game is so close, and really at this point they need to hold a trip cap for a little bit because of the lead that Incantus built for them at the beginning of the for themselves at the beginning of this game. They really need the 3 cap to stop this pressure, and it looks like they might be going for that.
I love this. I love every bit of this out of the Interstellar squad. When things get rough, they just turn up the pressure, turn up the heat. They are going full throttle. Their teamwork is on par right now. They're going for it. There's the trip cap. Exactly what you said.
That's 2 dead. And Little Brit is gonna help with 2 kills and go pick up a kill of his own over at the Cove, and that is gonna hold a trip cap for them. And that's exactly what they needed to get back in this game. Like. I mean, I've got to say, like, I feel like I'm doing a good job at predicting these comebacks today, because I'm just, you know, I'm saying this is their opportunity, and then they end up capitalizing on it, just like I predict. So, big shout out to me, in all honesty, okay? So, but I think they're gonna end up winning this game because of those big plays at the end, and that's so unfortunate for Incantus that they've lost 2 games from huge comebacks out of Interstellar. They are gonna go into this game 3. Just hopefully they level their heads out and they go into this game 3 and say, you know what, let's brush it off. We can still come back and we can reverse sweep. But most people, I think, are going to go into this next game after losing 2 comeback games like that. They're going to go into this 3rd game kind of feeling down and feeling a little bit tilted. So I'm really interested to see, like, it's going to be huge for Incantus to come out and win this next game. Otherwise, I mean it's obvious they won't take the series if they don't win this next game, but like they really need to come out and win this next game. This is probably bigger than winning a game 5, honestly. This
is a huge momentum boost for Interstellar. Definitely Incantus needs to you know, regain their composure, take things slow. We are going to see one of their stronger maps. The next map we're going to be going into is a Magic CTF. So that's something that they have done very well in the past. But we've also seen Interstellar have an amazing game on this and really be dominant in the CTF Magic game mode as well. So very exciting for both. I do want to talk about the stats a little bit. Trucker Guy continuing to have an amazing game. Alpha Caliber, wow, putting up 17 assists. He was there helping everybody. Parental Advisory having a great game. Little Brit, overall everything very good. Noisy, definitely needed to keep his stats down low. Definitely be more open in the field. Great game out of Maniac, Dragon, and Muku. Just a couple of plays. I mean, it was so close at the end. A lot of
damage. It really was. And you know, and it's funny because at the beginning of the game we were talking about how Incantus' team shot looked really good at the beginning of the game, which it did, but it all of a sudden just shut off. Like towards the middle or towards the later half of that game, and they just stopped getting assists and stopped team shooting and weren't getting the slaves that they needed. And Interstellar was doing the exact opposite. They flipped a switch on and kind of swapped positions, and their team shot became absolutely incredible at the end of that game. You know, you see 3 people with double-digit assists and respectable double-digit assists coming from Alpha Caliber with 17. So big plays, really big plays from everybody at the end of that game to bring them back in that game and come out with a win.
Definitely agree with you on that. Definitely going to go into another objective game type. I would definitely want to see what Noisy Boy, I want to see him, you know, stay calm, regain his composure, kind of lead that team, especially as a captain over there for Incantus, and just kind of lead the troops back up. They have great slaying powers. They're very good at objective. We are going to start up our game number 3. I'd like to see Incantus put up a fight here and stay in this series. Would you like to tell our viewers out there are a little bit different of CTF variant?
Sure. So we have a time return CTF variant. So the flag takes 12 seconds to return, and then the second major difference is that it is 5 caps to win. So it slows the capture the flag games down a little bit, so they're not so quick. Especially when one team is better than the other, it gives the other team a chance to, you know, flip a switch like Interstellar has been doing and playing well in the later half of the game and coming back and winning. But yeah, that's about it with our version of capture the flag. But
and kind of like Truth, there's not much to power weapons on this map. There's just an camo in the middle and a railgun underneath, so those are going to be very key in controlling early on in this match.
Yep, I'm really curious to see which team comes out of here and is able to grab this this camo and get away with it. It looks like the camo is going to get burned, which is usually what happens at the beginning of these games, so not unusual there. The big thing is which team ends up with the railgun, in my opinion, on this particular map.
And it seems the railgun is going to be in control of Little Brit, so I'll hop over to him, who's already on the other side flag. I got to say, for the first pull of this game, very good on Little Brit, pulling it to his teammate over in green. A little misjuggle, I think, by him. But right now,
it's not a huge deal misjuggling there. I think what I really liked out of Little Brit there is he picked a really great route to run. He heard the calls from his team. He may have seen some of the members of the other team himself as well, but he ran it to the complete opposite side that the Incantus team was on. So really good route for him, really good choice of where to run that flag, and I think that they should get this back to their base and could easily get a cap out of this.
Oh, I don't think Dragon knew he could do that.
And that's really intelligent coming out of Little Brit. That means right there you can tell Little Brit and his team have studied this map, because you don't know about being able to do that. I've literally 5'd somebody through that vent and they had no idea how I did it, and I had to explain it to them. But that just shows map knowledge for this map, and it's just like really good play coming out of Little Brit there to just know that he could do that.
Amazing shots. That Maniac will take down his killing spree. I do want to go over to her just to see. Unfortunately, she'll be taken out. This is the map.
Stay on board with her.
First point goes to Interstellar.
Yep, and I'm not surprised. Interstellar has been holding map control very well. If you notice, you can see the player highlights on the screen. You notice that the majority of their team is up top on the map, or at least half their team is up top on the map, and that's exactly what you need to be doing on this map. You want to hold that top control on this map 100%. The only time you really want to go down is when you're running flag or you're trying to live when you're one shot. Other than that, you definitely want to be staying towards the higher parts of the map. You're just gonna get the better angles. You're gonna be able to see more of what's going on, and the big thing is you're gonna be able to flip around, and if you see someone go through a portal, it's a lot easier to flip around when you're up top and hit them as they come out of the portal on the other side of the map.
I definitely love the angles Interstellar is getting on this Incantus team, and they're putting up the pressure. They know they have the gun skill, they know they have the setup, and they're creating angles, and I like how they're actually taking it to the base where their team is at, where they're spawning. They are giving up a little bit of defense, letting Incantus also pull the flag, but they know they can definitely outslay them and keep things going. Unfortunately, Noisy will not be able to get through that teleporter to keep that alive. That would have been huge if he was able to. But Muku with the pickup.
Muku with the touch. I was just going to ask if he was able to get that touch. That's insane. Thrust sliding in to get that touch. Just right at the last second. Really good play out of Muku there doing that. I hope that something comes out of this. It doesn't look like anything is, which is really unfortunate. But still, you can't argue that was a great play out of Muku, being able to thrust slide in there and do that.
That was a huge stop by Trucker Guy. Definitely want to see him play defense. He does not know oh, Incantus team is collapsing on him, but they'll keep it alive. Definitely would have liked another teammate there with Trucker Guy to help kind of defend that flag. That could have been the second cap for Interstellar.
Yeah, I think he initially had another teammate there with him, maybe even two, but they were taken out. He was one shot. He got a couple kills there, did what he could. But you know, Incantus did a really good job of clearing their base out there and getting them out. But you see a Trucker Guy get in there and get a kill, and then Mook just kind of run away from it, which was kind of a weird. It seems like he wasn't maybe calling out properly there, and I think because of that, because of Mook not paying attention, they are going to get this flag return and then possibly another cap. And they will. That's exactly what's going to happen. So that's really unfortunate. That's a really small detail that either it wasn't called out or Mook didn't pay attention or wasn't paying complete attention to that call out, and that cost him a flag right there, 100%.
It's definitely on this map that side base is going to be the main thing you want to control. It allows your team to kind of pull the yellow or green, depending where they're spawning at, and allow you a nice, safer passage to the other side. You don't really see too many down the middle pulls or any of that. They're always going to take it to a side base or through a teleporter, and that's something Interstellar has capitalized very well at this game.
Yep, it's definitely the absolute correct strategy on this map, and I think honestly we have to give credit to the Interstellar squad, because I feel like they do a better job than any other team at controlling those side bases and knowing where and calling that out and knowing and having their flag runner know to go that direction. And because I just don't see that same level of coordination from the other teams.
Dragon got burned earlier with the railgun from Brit, so now he's definitely trying to shoot through the little openings in the floor.
Yeah, I mean, and that's okay. Like, it shows that you went, hey, man, this is possible. Like, that sucked, but that was a good play from Brit. I'm gonna do that. Like, it's a little bit of respect there, you know. Like, you got to say, oh man, he outsmarted me there. Like, he obviously knows something I don't. I'm gonna use it now. And if you can adapt in the middle of a game like that, just seeing that Dragon did that in the middle of a game just shows that Dragon is a skilled and talented player.
He's definitely adapting. He's definitely learning. I would like to see more control on these portals. I have seen a lot of teams just kind of go through them uncontested and not really holding down or locking that down. That's a huge stick.
I've got to point out there, Trucker Guy reversing Dragon there. That was a really big play from Trucker Guy, because that Dragon was the only one left to stop that flag cap. Absolutely the only one left, and he had the shots on Trucker Guy, and Trucker Guy hit him with put a nade under his foot and hit him with a little nade and finished him off and turned it on him. So unfortunate from Dragon there, but Dragon is going to get a good trade though with that stick. So
I like that Trucker Guy is using the sticky nades and actually making plays, getting sticked. Even though he died there, he allowed another death on the other side, just giving him his team that extra player down that he can call out, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna die here, but so will the person I'm fighting."
I still want to stay on board with Trucker Guy here. I think I like what Trucker Guy's doing, just finding the people bottom mid, putting the shots on them. He's not being overly aggressive. He's playing safe, even though they have the 4 cap lead or the 4 flag lead. He's still playing smart, and I like seeing that. He is gonna get taken out, but I like the decisions he's making, and I'm happy to see that the fires are showing up for the Interstellar squad.
Most definitely. Trucker guy is just having a heck of a game. Little Bird is also having a great game. Wow.
I think Little Brit might have thought he got the kill a little earlier there, but he's still gonna come out on top there. But I mean, you know, it just shows that quick reaction time when you know you screwed up and you didn't get the kill that you thought you did. You just do a quick little boost just to be like, you know what, this is my last line of defense. Like, I'm just gonna boost really crazy, and hopefully I live and I can get that final headshot, and that's exactly what he did. But that's really all you can do in that situation.
It also shows that the pressure
looks like it's going to be a cap.
Really got to this Incantus squad. They have everyone coming back, and Little Brit will put this in. That will be game.
Yeah, and I cannot imagine how Incantus feels right now. Like, those first two games were their games the entire time until the very end. I mean, this was the only absolutely dominating game, and I expected that on this map because, like I said, Interstellar plays this map really well, better than any other team in my opinion, no matter who on the roster is playing. But yeah, it's just, I mean, those comebacks were amazing. They weren't a fluke. They had good positioning at the end of that Truth game. They had great team shooting at the end of that Oasis game, which allowed them to play the objective and get that trip cap that they needed at the end. And then it was a complete blowout in this game 3. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, that, you know, it wasn't. I mean, those two games were close, but I'm actually a little bit shocked that this was a 3-0.
I am as well. Amazing game coming out of Trucker Guy, 18-7, leading his team in kills, leading them in the comeback all the way. Great games out of him. Not seeing that slaying power that we usually see out of the Incantus squad. Noisy had a kind of rougher game. Dragon had a rougher game. They definitely are still doing well in assists. I like to see the even spread of assists out of both teams, which we are seeing, but that the slays, getting those kills, kind of covering, making use of those assists, and getting more slaying power on the board. And in any objective mode, you still need to slay out your opponents to kind of not let them have control, not give them the advantage over you going into it. You don't want to be in a 3-1 situation where you have to make an objective play. You want to get some kills on the board, get 2 down, pull the flag, so that way you have a more easier path to the flag. To take it back to your
100%.
base.
100%. I mean, I think the big difference that game was, the reason why Interstellar came out on top, is because of the positioning on those side bases and staying on top of the map. And like I said, they do that, in my opinion, they even more than my team. As much as I love my team, like, they struggle a little bit with this map. And they need to look at this game, honestly. I'm gonna have them watch this because Interstellar Interstellar absolutely played this map flawlessly. Like, always where they needed to be. They were running the flag in the direction their team was controlling, and they were getting the slays because they were staying in the right parts of the map. They were staying up top for the most part, unless they were dropping down to just stay alive, or help the flag get across. And that's how you have to play that map, and they just did it so well.
I agree, and congratulations to the Interstellar squad. Congratulations this week to all those players. Later on is going to be the Gravity versus Mythical Magnum game. So very excited to see that coming up. Wonderful matches out of both teams today. Fortunately, 3-0 Interstellar has definitely came to play today. Amazing comebacks. They fought tooth and nail to that all the way down to the last couple points on both the first 2 games. Very well deserved win for them. So tune in next time for the Gravity Mythical Magnums game. Thanks for coming out.
Yep, thanks for watching, everybody.